Anishinaabe peoples for generations. Though many of the tools have changed today, the art of this way of life remains intact. So we're out here in Wikwemikong, preparing to go out on the ice. He's tying down the jig board up here. This is what's gonna go under the ice. And it's a pretty amazing process. He's gonna ski-doo out there. We're gonna truck in. You could see some of his work, trapping work that he's been doing over the winter. This is how he makes his livelihood. One of the last trappers. In Wikwemikong. So it's quite a beautiful place. This is the house he built. We got a lot of snow last night, about 15-20 centimeters. Can't even see the water out there. Beautiful.
As you can tell right now, it's snowing. And it's not really actually warm outside, it's cold. Touching the fish, you get cold hands. You know, and then I'll be out here for about 3 or 4 hours filleting fish. And they don't even consider that, you know. But they have no problem paying $17 to a juggernaut company, supporting all the juggernaut chemical fish, but they don't want to buy fresh fish for the cheaper price. And that happens pretty much every week this way.
So you're gonna cut a hole there?
Or other side. Hole. Gather that rope. Put it on top of the stick. Those men. Sometimes I am baffled and puzzled on how the outside world lives out there and how they exist. How can they buy fish that like for example, like this fish here is very fresh. It was born in the freshwater. It's eating its in its natural habitat. It's not being fed any GMO or any chemicals. It's eating what its ancestors have been eating for thousands of years. So it's a really healthy fish. It has no chemicals in it. But it helps me. I feel good to provide fish for some community members that rely on me to catch their fish. It makes me feel good that I'm supplying healthy fish for them. I do a thorough check as I'm filleting fish. Before I package them, I make sure there is no abnormalities in any of the fish. And if I do catch any fish that are abnormal, I document it. I record where did I catch this, when did I catch it. I take pictures of it. And if it's concerning, sometimes I'll call the Ministry of Natural Resources and I'll tell them, I'll say, hey, look at this, I caught this fish here, which happened not too long ago here in Manitoulin Bay. There's 2 fish farms here, and I stopped putting gill nets here because I was pulling out a lot of abnormal fish. And those fish farms are creating abnormalities in the fish, the wild fish, that are eating from the food that's falling through the nets. You know, not all the food that the fish are eating in those fish farms, they don't eat them all. Some of them go through and they go to the bottom of the lake, and then the wild fish come around and then they eat. Eventually these wild fish are depending on that fish farm and they're not hunting anymore for their food. And these wild fish now have abnormalities. And some of the fish that I catch, they have gigantic hunchbacks, they have bulldog faces, and those are the chemicals that the fish are eating that's causing this. So it's concerning to me, and that's why I don't gill net in Manitoulin Bay anymore. because there's fish that are just abnormal, and I don't like catching abnormal fish and feeding my community those abnormal fish. You know, I take pride in what I do, and I care about the people that consume the fish that I harvest. Some people that do this, they don't care. They just want to sell their fish. Like big companies, big fish farms, they don't care. All they want to do is sell their fish, make some money. You know, and sometimes when I'm filleting fish, I'm wondering, like, why do people buy fish from Costco's or from all these other stores and don't even consider what they're eating? Like, they don't even realize there's chemicals in their fish. This one is fresh. It's so healthy. You know, so understanding the outside world and why they eat that way, I don't know.
Being out in the open above 18 inches of ice with a negative 30-degree wind chill is an experience in itself. The wind is a sacred being and can be relentless at times. We decided against editing out the sound of the wind in these next clips, so viewers can get a better sense of the power of this practice.
So I want it to go right towards the sun, which is right there. Yep. So now I'll push it forward a little bit, just enough for that arm to grab the ice. And then this is the rope I use. Once I pull this rope, you'll see that jig board is going to move forward. So every time I pull the rope, the jig board will move about 4 feet, 2 to 4 feet. So here we go. And off it goes to the races. You pull it again, and just enough so that I feel that claw grabbing the ice.
So that jig board is now
in motion.
heading towards what, about 100 feet?
It'll go 150 feet.
150 feet towards the sun. So it's grabbing under the ice.
I think it's 150 feet.
And every time he pulls the rope, that board goes about 4 feet. That's incredible. And your dad made that? How did you learn to do that?
Another Indian man.
Another Indian man.
We've had many people follow this jig board pattern, and I've used many jig boards from other people, and I've never had as greater success with other people's jig board.
And how long ago do you think you made it?
How long ago? I think my dad's made the jig board about 30 years ago.
Wow. So if you listen close, you can hear the jig below the ice. What I think is incredible is Roman walked out here along the ice earlier, made a line, and we're within, what, less than a meter of that line? We're right on it, maybe. Wow, it's right below our feet here. We've only got about 30 yards to go to get to 150 feet. Got it? Holy.
That's my shovel.
Right where I said, eh?
That's where I see. See it?
So that jig just went from all the way under the ice, basically along the path of our feet. And now we can pull that rope up and be able to drop a line. So that's what's next.
Pulling, and it hits this metal, and that's what you hear every time you pull the string. Also, when you're moving the jig board, you pull it, this thing grabs the ice, and as you can see, I'll go like this one, because this is a floating device. The ice is here, and if I push it, it makes the board go forward.
Amazing. So this net has been finally set. It's now all the way across the bay here. You want me to hold it? You got it? Now Randy's gonna tie this up. So what you don't want to happen right now would be to drop this, right? But you'd still have it on the other side, just in case. Who taught you how to do this? And what, he lived just behind you there, over there, right? All his life.